It's tough, man. Learn from the best, Gary Wright.
Yeah.
You get tough, yeah. I mean, this is the way it is in the MLS, but you guys don't get much time to mentally get a break and rest and relax. And how tough is that to be back on the field already? Obviously, it's a good thing. That means you made the finals if you don't have much time to rest.
I was going to turn that into a positive.
Yeah.
So the lack of rest certainly is an issue. I would say that it's equal parts mental and physical, because the guys have been going for 2 years straight with not a lot of rest, but we'd certainly prefer that than the flip side, which is getting 2 months off and, not doing well.
Brian, with that, what are your metrics early on in the season? You got to bring guys in slow, but yet again, you want to win right away.
Yeah, Champions League is coming up fast, and it's certainly a very, very important competition. We want to do extremely well in that competition. So the balance is just assessing where they're at, and then a lot of guys will be on individual programs, and we'll get down to the nitty-gritty, and Nico's different than Roman, and Chad, and Ozzy, then Gustav, and obviously Christian and Jordan are getting a jump start with the national team. But we'll assess them all as individuals, and then try and collectively as a group get them ready for Champions League.
Is that training program different than last year just because of Champions League?
I would say that each year we're getting better at what we do. We always want to try and raise the bar, so there'll be little subtle differences in how we train and why we train. Certainly, we have to tuck in a lot of factors, and we'll continue to evolve as a staff, and just try and do a better job.
You've had a chance to kind of, knowing you hardworking, reevaluate what happened, styles and everything else. What are some of those things that jump out to you in a positive? Because if I ask you negative, you're not going to say it. So what are those things that you did well?
Last year you're talking about?
Yeah, as you go into this season, after your off-season evaluation, tape, personnel, all that.
Well, I like the spirit of the club, the effort of the players. I think that has always been a constant of Seattle teams. I think our play at times last year was a little too erratic for our liking. We like to be a little bit more consistent. We don't want to start off the season in another slow period. I think the positives are everybody's coming back and everybody's relatively healthy, and we're going to try and get after it real quick.
I already saw you have animated conversations with Preki during just his first session. What does he bring, and what are you looking to get from him during either training and or games?
He's going to be great. I mean, he and I have a really long history of, playing against each other, with each other, and he's pretty fiery. I mean, you guys will think this is kind of odd, but he fancies himself as a real defensive-minded coach, and I always tell him, no, just stick to what you do best, which is score goals and make assists. And so we go back and forth. It's pretty hilarious at times, but he's a really, really talented coach. He has some really good ideas, and I think that's going to help the club.
How would you describe your relationship with him since your playing days? I mean, have you stayed
we've
close?
always kept in touch. I mean, I enjoyed a couple days in the USL days when we were able to beat Chivas, and there was an Open Cup game down here that we won when Guzan was in goal. I mean, he had all his guys, so I remind him of that all the time.
Coach, the team's off the Chula Vista today. What do you hope they get out of that camp?
Good base level of fitness, and we will have one game at the end of that camp, so we'll get, again, that's the assessment part of it. So a good base of fitness, a game, and when we come back and go to Tucson, that's when we'll kind of ramp up all the tactics and how we're going to play, why we're going to play, and get more games in on the Tucson phase.
Obviously, you haven't been able to see the players, but you get Waylon Francis. He's going to be battling for a position. Can you talk about him and the importance of competitions in different positions?
Yeah. That's always the tricky part of MLS, right? I mean, are the rosters deep enough to have true competition? Is the team kind of settled by the end of the year? I think that's changing. I think our league is changing. We're going to have better players, and we're going to have competition. And I would group Waylon in that class.